Hey friends, welcome to Sabbath School Daily, where we have been studying from this lesson right here, 3 Cosmic Messages. Today we're studying from lesson number 10, which has the title, Satan's Final Deceptions, and today is Wednesday's lesson, which has the title, A Call to Faithfulness. Now, the Bible reveals God as being a merciful being, someone who extends a call to faithfulness, a call of mercy to his children when they fall and they make mistakes throughout their journey. You see this multiple times throughout the Bible where God's people they fall down, they mess up, and God calls them back. That doesn't mean that consequences don't come. Consequences happen, right? There is the universal law that God set in place of cause and effect. The fact that people abuse their freedom in contradicting God's will just means that God grants freedom to everyone. To me, that is one of the greatest arguments in the favor of the biblical God. His existence is the fact that bad things happen. Now, that might sound kind of arbitrary to you, but the fact that bad things happen means that God grants freedom to his beings. The fact is that when you or anyone really abuses their freedom and they make decisions and choices that they shouldn't, bad things happen, right? This is the universal law of cause and reaction, the universal law of responsibility of consequence, right? But in the Bible, you do find that notwithstanding these events, notwithstanding the bad even consequences of the decisions that people make, God still extends freedom. Not freedom. He still extends mercy and grace to them. And so in the end times, you see God extending a call to leave Babylon, leave fallen Babylon, and come back to him. That's the call of the second message of the second angel, or that is the second message. That is the message of the second angel in Revelation 14. It's this call to come back to the Lord. Again, throughout the Bible, you see that God is calling people to come back to him. In the context of the end time, God is preparing a people that will be faithful and loyal to him, that will stand by his side even if the heavens shall fall. These people will be persecuted. These people will be mistreated. These people will be hurt. They will be maligned. They will be lied about. All sorts of bad things will happen, but they will stick to God. They will stand by his side. We also see that a lot of this faithfulness has to do, especially in these end times, it has to do with the seventh-day Sabbath, simply because this is the point in God's law where you can see the most attack, right? It's you won't really see a lot of people telling you to blaspheme the name of the Lord. You won't really see any religious groups telling you to worship foreign gods, or they won't make the breaking of the commandments that obvious. But when it comes to the fourth commandment, the seventh-day Sabbath, this one, it stands out, right? This is where you really see that you are called either to obey God or to obey other people, right? Other institutions, other powers. Either you remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy because God rested, he blessed, and he hallowed it, or you keep whatever other day that you see around. And so that's why this really rises as a sign between God and his people. In the context of the chapter that is mentioned in today's lesson, which is Ezekiel chapter 20, you see the Lord describing his extension of mercy, his calling for people to leave paganism, for Old Testament Israel to leave paganism, to come back to him. And you see that this is very much connected to the observance of the Sabbath, because it stands out as a sign between him and his people. In Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 18, it says, "But I said to their children in the wilderness, do not walk in the statutes of your fathers, nor observe their judgments, nor defile yourselves with their idols. I am the Lord your God. Walk in my statutes, keep my judgments, and do them. Hallow my Sabbaths, and they will be a sign between me and you, that you may know that I am the Lord your God." So you see that the Sabbath, it arises as this seal that demonstrates that it's a demonstrative between God and his people. And so when God extends this call to come back to him, this call to be faithful, the sign that reveals that we are submitting to him, that he is our God, like it says here, this will reveal that I am the Lord your God, it's the Sabbath. It was so in the Old Testament, and it is so in these last days. So I hope that that's what you get out of today's lesson. There's a lot more to get. I did mention this text here yesterday. It's in Wednesday's lesson. I mentioned it yesterday, but it's very fitting for today's lesson. It's a text written by Dr. Edward T. Hiscox. It says here that he is the author of the Standard Manual for Baptist Churches. In 1893, a long time ago, he addressed a group of hundreds of Baptist ministers and shocked them as he explained how Sunday came into the Christian church. He said, "What a pity Sunday, comes branded with the mark of paganism and christened by the name of the sun god, then adopted and sanctioned by the papal apostasy and bequeathed as a sacred legacy to Protestantism." It's a shame that this deception truly has been carried on throughout Protestantism. We see that that is one of the enemy's greatest deceptions, especially in these end times. So learn more about this, study your Bible, be ready to stand by the side of the Lord. Remember the Sabbath day. Know that it is a seal, a sign, a mark between God and his people. It identifies them, it sets them apart. And so I hope that becomes something, if it is not already, it becomes something big in your life. Please remember to study your lesson, look up the Bible verses, remember to write down the answers. That will help solidify the information in your mind. And also, please remember to like, to share, and to subscribe to our videos. We release one every day, and I hope to see you again here tomorrow for another Sabbath School Daily.